However, you're
Tell them to
funneling.
fuck up.
But anytime someone like gives you an opinion, you send them a link to like a GoFundMe, and it's like you must make a donation of at least $10 for us to take note of
Unfortunately,
your opinion.
my grandmother has a lot of opinions and has paid more than $10. So we have to hear her out. But when she doesn't have when she does have an opinion but doesn't want to voice it, she says, "Well, I'm just gonna say nothing." And she says that constantly to let us know that she doesn't like what we're doing. Her best friend agreed her friend question mark agreed to be our day of coordinator, which is very nice because she used to do this for a living, and now she's beefing with my grandmother on behalf of us, we think, but she also just likes to be mean to my grandmother, so we're really not sure what's going on there.
That sounds so much fun.
I found out that my grandfather on my dad's side, the dynamite one, uh so he's driving, here from Pennsylvania or whatever, or he's being driven technically, here from Pennsylvania on the day of the rehearsal dinner.
Hmm.
And he told us that he wasn't sure if he was going to be able, which he is invited, told us he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make it or not because he doesn't do well with drives anymore. And he was going to have to let us know day of. This would be fine, whatever, if he didn't also pull this shit with being able to come to the wedding at all until my dad basically, like, I don't know what happened, but when I talked to him, he was like, "Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to come. It's so icy down there all the time, and I don't know about the weather. We'll just have to wait and see." And I was like, "Okay, whatever, Pappy." And then apparently I told that to my mom, and she went, "I will make your dad call him." And then
Oh
my dad
boy.
called him, and about 5 minutes later, my grandfather RSVP'd yes. So I don't know what happened, but I am glad to see him.
You do. I think we can piece together what happened pretty concretely. I don't think we
Yeah.
need to be Sherlock Holmes.
You need to come to the wedding, you little shit, or else I'm gonna fucking get you.
Basically, yeah. Which is interesting because my dad doesn't usually do a lot like conflict like that, uh, especially not with his grandfather. But which makes me or with my grandfather, not his grandfather. But that does make me happy if that is what he did, because it means he just basically turned around and stood up to his own dad.
This is supposed to be a special occasion, so I don't know why this guy's being like.
I don't know either. I wasn't
It,
that offended by it because it's my grandfather. We all know him.
the roads are just so icy. I
Which
can't
they
make
aren't,
it.
by the way. Not at this time of year.
Well, they used to be. And then global
40
warming.
fucking years ago. He didn't have a problem with the icy roads when he dropped like a whole crate of illegal guns at our house. It was
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Well, and maybe
So
maybe you
that's why
should
I
have
wasn't too offended.
maybe you should have insinuated there was gonna be some sort of illegal firearms at the wedding. Then maybe
Should
he'd
have
be like,
hosted a
"I'm
fuck the
there."
government party. He'd be there for that.
Just a bunch of randos showing up to that party.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute, it's a wedding too?
Yeah. I shouldn't have even told him it was a wedding, just should have told him it was a fuck the government party. He would have been down there 3 days early to help set up.
Oh, see, missed out on a great opportunity. Oh my. Well, how are you doing, Caleb? Damn, dead.
My mic was muted. I'm doing alright though. Long day at work, but I'm home now.
That's good. Very good, very good. What about you, Dalton?
I'm doing all right. Was finally able to at least get an appointment with a cardiologist.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, have
Progress.
the appointment's for a month away, but
Hmm.
could do worse.
Could do worse. Mm-hmm. I have to schedule my appointments 9 months in advance with my endocrinologist. but they're just fucked. So I'm glad cardiologist doesn't have the same wait time, because that would have...
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I really hope a cardiologist is faster than this. So I would have been like, hey, Dalton. Hey, Dalton,
Yeah.
I hate to tell you this. It might be a while.
Yeah.
You walk in, they're just like, oh yeah, we know how to fix this, and they just like hit you a few times. You know what, like the tool they use to hit your knee? They just tap that against your chest a few times, and you're like, what the fuck? They're like, oh yeah.
That's all it needs. Like, you could have told me to do that over the phone when I called. Like,
this could have been an email.
You tried turning it off and on again?
They actually did that to my
I
mom's
sleep
heart.
every night.
Well, technically, they froze it so that it would stop.
That's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're like, it's alright, it's as routine as open heart surgery could be. And we were all like, alright, cool. And they're like, yeah, it'll just be like 2 months away. They said January 2020. Then March 10th, we are like, ooh, uh-oh.
Looks like it's gonna be a bit of a reschedule.
Oh, they didn't reschedule. They are just like, yeah, you kind of have to do this. Wear a mask. We were all like, okay. It was wild. But hey, when everything shut down, she was like, yay, I get 2 free weeks off to recover. This is great. And then it turned into 2 months. She was like, hey, this is... You know, I wanted the time off, but not like this.
Oops.
Oopsie doodles. The monkey's paw did curl. And that is the way it goes. But the way it goes tonight, that's up to you guys.
That's what I'm scared of.
Don't be...
I don't think it should be.
What? You're the main characters. Look, Jamie, Nace is at the center of the picture.
I just want to go back to being a tiny little background character.
Yeah, we're main characters of the poop story we made.
It's a very cool season poster, by the way, Colin.
It is. It's very cool.
It is, yeah.
Well,
I like it.
Thank you. But you're main characters.
You know, I feel like I said this at the end of last campaign. Can I just farm cabbages next time?
Well, I tried to give you that opportunity, Dalton, and then you went and you joined a damn cult.
Hey!
Sorry! I'm sorry.
The cult had cabbages, Colin.
They did! That's the problem! We said we wanted to farm cabbages, and the cult said, what if you could farm cabbages all day, every day? And we went, that's so great! What if everyone could farm cabbages all day, every day? And we said, that was great! And then they said, what if you were a cabbage? And we went, what?
I feel like you all are assigning me more enthusiasm than was there.
I know, that's what I said. Alon did not join the cult, okay? He was a skeptic.
No.
Tolerated the cult.
Continue.
He tolerated the cult.
I would also say skeptic is strong too. I think more just I am the guy who is quote unquote Christian in that I was raised that way, but I have never gone to church in the last 20 years.
But also, if somebody says something bad about Christianity, you get a weird pit in your chest, and you're like,
Like, yeah, but it's involuntary. I don't actually care.
Exactly.
You just show up to the Westboro Baptist Church, just for the barbecue. It tastes good. You're like, yeah, I'm here, but, am I really a part of it? But you're in, all the promotional photos.
You kind of still, follow some Christian traditions. If, you were raised Catholic and you're like, oh, wouldn't it be so fun to go to the fish fry on Fridays during Lent? Because that's so fun. Not religiously, it's just something I did growing up, and you get there and people assume you're Christian. And you're like, oh, wait, what? is how I view Alon.
Alon is the Tom Cruise of the devout. He's not as into it as some people are, but he's around. He's like the cool doctor. You're like a poster boy.
Whenever the cult is mentioned, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's that doctor guy that we were with."
Oh, Alon? I love Alon.
Mm-hmm.
He fixed my common cold. Isn't it great? And it's great too, Dalton, because you get to give the recap.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. Last time we had arrived at the gate, and there were a good amount of infected guarding it.
Mm-hmm.
We distracted them, using Naza's powers again, and then we went up and we used the special spell that we got in Glane to let us through, and that did something to Naza. Still unclear what. Well, to be clear, it did something to Naza due to the banker mark currently residing on their hand. But again, unclear what that is exactly. We went through and started making our way through the mountain pass. Diana kept finding traps that the infected had laid down. We found a very large sort of snake trail. We found some signs. We found a lot of foot traffic. Not actual people, but tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, we arrived to a house that has been taken over by the infected, and also they've made a dry dock. Or found a dry dock. Still a bit unclear on that point. And have been constructing boats to try and take them across a lake of acid or ocean. Not sure which. Not sure how big this thing is.
Aren't
But,
all oceans just lakes, really?
It's a scale thing. Or it's a salt content thing. And seeing as this is acid, I don't really know where to put that. Anywho, we spied on them for a little while, trying to see what we could see. Some of the things we could see being a ship called the Mantis, I believe, that
Correct.
was nearing completion, or more like being loaded for a journey.
Correct. It is completed.
Yes. And then we also saw Quinn there. We saw Gregory, well, the Hydra. And also that infected were being sent back and forth to the house. So Vicha requested that we sort of do a mission to try and infiltrate the house and see what's being in there, see what we could learn about their operations and what they've been up to. Ilan and Diana went with him. We all arrived there stealthily and started sifting through their papers. And we learned some stuff. For example, the original occupant of this house had sort of given them a vague map. That person has also been infected at this point and is still working for them. Sort of who is on this side of the gate, that being a good number of their higher ranking members.
Mm-hmm.
And just sort of general status report on some stuff. And as we were finishing up, a infected walked in as we were doing this and rose the alarm. So we decided that we should just book it for the boat and see if we could just leave before they had time to catch us. Unfortunately, we barely did not make that, and we are currently on the boat but so is Quinn, and so is the Hydra.
Correct. And as we find you at this moment, as foes begin to close in on all sides, I'm going to need all of you to go ahead and roll for order.
I'm gonna throw up.
I'm giving up my background action for an extra d6.
Okay. I curse you with all ones.
Not well. It could have been better.
Let's see here.
I'm also gonna give up my background action just to be not that bad.
Okay.
Oh wait, that was good actually. Never mind. It only showed a 1 on my side.
What the fuck am I doing? Okay. If Polydectes... Okay, he's not a 7. Whew. What did Vicha roll?
Vicha got a 10.
A 10? Alright, alright. Alon?
6.
6. Neza?
Also 10, but I know for a fact Vicha goes first.
Yes. Boudica?
I got 7.
Very nice. And let's see here some of the rest. Ooh, an 8. And oh, well that's lovely. And this will have an extra d6 on it. That's crazy. Hey! That's an 11 for the Briar Hydra. And this will have an extra d6 on it as well. This is Banana-Naus.
What if it used its turn to kill itself?
Well, that'd be so crazy. That'd be so bonkers. Turns out that's not happening, though.
Oh.
Who jumped over me?
The Briar Hydra and Quinn.
The Briar Hydra's fair and square, but I think Quinn rolled an extra 1.
I told you that they were doing that, yes.
I'm still shaking my head.
They
can-
both
you can
roll
beat it,
3d6.
Caleb, do you want to give up your movement too?
Oh, sorry. It needs to have an extra 2 on it. Technically, Quinn's going first at a 12.
Caleb, you can beat him. I believe in you. What are you
I'm
going
not
to do with
doing
your
that.
movement
I
anyway?
need my movement to get to you.
Alright, well, here we go. First up, Quinn, as he will charge forward, and as they dash, they're going to go ahead and use their Haze Slash against you, Vicha. As you watch as these claws extend as they rush forward, and all about this area, it's like this strange violet mist begins to spread as they begin to launch this furious assault at you. First attack. 27 points of slashing damage.
27, that will go on stamina.
Gotcha. You know the drill, though.
Yep, they keep going.
Well, that's true. Odd or even, Caleb?
Odd.
Hey!
Oh, that's good.
Yep, only one. So, very good for you. Yeah. But then they actually have another Rabid Slash. It's not the Haze Slash, it's Rabid. So, next Rabid Slash at you. 24.
24 is still going to go on stamina.
Gotcha. Odd or even?
We'll go out again.
It's even.
God damn it.
Another 18.
Stamina.
And go ahead for me and call odd or even.
Odd.
Ah, you stop it. As the onslaught comes forward, you're momentarily overwhelmed, Vicha, before you're able to dig your heels in. That will be the end of Quinn's turn. Now, it's the Briar Hydra. As the Briar Hydra is going to begin to make its way forward towards the edge of the ship. And, let's see, it's got some reach. I mean, well, yeah. And can't reach Alon, though, right here. So that's cool. We'll start out, though, with 2 attacks at Neza and 2 attacks at Ocean. So, first at Neza, first attack. For 48 points.
Well, I don't have any stamina points, so I'm just gonna take it on armor.
Gotcha. So this thing chomps into you, +1 corruption.
Ah!
Next attack. 42.
Same thing, another armor block.
Alright. Next, Ocean. For 60. And 48. As that's going to be 2 health blocks from her. Then, let's see. Take... Yep, an attack against Vicha. For, damn, 36, Vicha.
That's going to have to be an armor block.
Alright, and +1 corruption.
Okay.
You know what? Another attack against you, Vicha, since there's an extra dice here. For 42.
Health block.
Alright, roll 2d6.
That's going to be 9.
Gotcha. You fall prone.
Gotcha. It's just action or movement to stand up?
Action. No movement.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, as the Briar Hydra slithers forward, you watch as it rears up, as each of its heads begins to lash out in separate directions, biting into all of you, as its massive crushing jaws threaten to sunder you apart. But that's the Briar Hydra's turn. Vicha, you're up.
Look, I promise you don't want to do this. Even if you kill us here, you're going to bring a lot more trouble on you than it's worth. And I think he's gonna kind of back up, and he'll kind of take Naza's hand and kind of hold the mark out to Quinn.
Gotcha. And you can see the creature would focus on it momentarily.
He's laid claim to us. You try to attack us, you're bringing all of that onto the heads of yourselves and all your men and women out here. And he'll kind of sweep an arm toward the, just toward the impure around us.
Is this mark supposed to mean something to me?
Guess you're lucky enough you haven't come across the Banker of Bones.
Can
We
see
have.
like the head refocuses on you.
He broke every bone in my body. The 5 minutes I spent with him was far worse than everything that happened to me in the Warrens. And if you try to attack us, if you try to take his prize, well, I don't know what he'll do. Maybe he'll take your impure and he'll rip every layer off of their skin one by one. Maybe he'll make them see what it feels like for their organs to all stop simultaneously. But whatever it is, he'll save you for last. He'll make sure you watch as your people die because of what you did.
Go ahead and make a mental or spirit check for me at benefit 1.
Choose mental. Would I get exceptional minds?
Mm-hmm.
Benefit 1. Four successes.
Gotcha. There is some hesitation, but it still looks like there is a desire to get all of you. You are, right now, public enemy number 1.
We're dead no matter what. You can either take your victory and let us go, and we'll die somewhere far off where the banker won't bring his wrath down upon you, or you can see what happens if you kill us here.
With that, that will be
And
Veach's turn. Naza, you're up.
Yep.
I think she's gonna try to do is move over this way. Oh, that is the wrong tool. And then I'm gonna try to hold my action. She's gonna call out to Oceane, asking her to like come over here, and she's gonna hold her action until Oceane is within like this range. You can see my cursor. This range, to cast up a protective spell around herself, Polydectes, Randall, and Oceane.
Okay. And will that be your turn?
Yes.
All right. Then it will be the zombies' turns. As they're going to start dashing up onto the ship. As their group is now ready to board. And this one going to be able to get right there. The rest of the group will be getting about right there on the gangplank as they are all beginning to board. However, that being their turns, Boudica, you're up.
Oh boy. I am gonna run. Oh. Sorry, thing popped up. Please let me. Come on. I'm trying to move. Gosh, I have to reload the page. Sorry about that. Something popped up and it didn't let me do a thing. But I am gonna walk over here. I'll run over here. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna do the thing.
Okay.
Do the slashing.
Gotcha.
So that will be... Sorry, I don't know why I'm blanking so much. +4, so that'll be 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 times 6.
Yeah, you cut this thing to pieces.
Oh, Okay, cool.
As you run up and easily just sunder this infected.
That's pretty epic. So I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to get up in here. I am about to start dicing some zombies.
Bet.
And that'll be my turn.
Gotcha. And at the end of your turn, what's Vicha looking like?
Angry.
Hmm?
Oh. So I thought you were... He's probably casting a look at Boudica. I realize now you meant health-wise.
No, I like facial expression. I just heard a blast of noise. That was it.
Oh, okay.
I
Sorry.
heard hungry.
Yeah. No, I said anger. I think he's probably... I mean, the others would have noticed him before, like, attempting to only knock out the infected. He is not happy with Boudica running up and slicing and dicing. So, yeah, probably shock and then... Yep, surprise and anger.
And you would then see as you look over, Quinn seems to refocus on all of you. Now it's looking like it's going to be a fight. As it'll be Ocean, Randall, Diana's turn. Diana going first. Shit. Think Diana is going to note bigger. Yeah, this is problematic. She doesn't like this. I think she's going to go ahead, run over, and then point blank fire her bow doctor's needle into you, Vicha.
Yay. What's that doing?
It's gonna hit you probably, and it's gonna be at benefit 3.
Yeah. Vicha would not be attempting to move away from it. He trusts Diana.
Okay. Then run one straight between the eyes. Healed 60 stamina points.
60. Awesome.
As she pulls back the arrow and charges it with primordial energy, and as it shoots into you, it kind of dissipates, sending this healing energy through your body. All right, get up now. And I'll be her turn, as I think Randall is going to move back.
If I can, she's trying to convince him to stay in this little area, just like with Ocean, if she sees him try to move away.
All right, and he'll move there. And then Ocean, on her turn, go here, and he'll take the guard action. Ocean will go here.
Will that trigger my held action?
Mm-hmm.
I will now roll this. It is, I believe, 13d6
Well,
for
what
a
are
mental check.
So you're trying to just do what?
Create a domed barrier in kind of around us to shield all of us from more damage. From any damage, really.
Okay. I see. Then, like, what? Like that? Gonna have to be more specific.
Oh my god, I was muted. Like that.
Okay.
Like a little domed barrier that protects us from more, from any damage, really.
Mm-hmm. From any damage? Alright, it's probably gonna have a pool on it.
That's okay.
What's your power score?
My power score is 6.
6 will have 42 stamina points.
Gotcha. And I do intend to use my actions on subsequent turns to re-up its pool.
Okay. Gotcha. Then as that goes up, Dalton, are you back yet?
Yeah.
All right. Then it is Alon's turn.
Okay. Well, I had an idea, but now there's a dome there. You know what? I will. Yeah, I'll attack with my Torvian.
Attack with your Torvian? Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. Just I haven't used that in a while. Okay. Do I have to declare who I'm targeting first?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go for the 4 that are currently on the ship.
Okay.
Okay. That's 3. Which is 27 points.
To each?
No, distributed equally.
Okay. So what, are you doing it, like, completely equally, like, 6-ish to each?
Yeah, let's just go do that.
Gotcha. Then each... So firstly, describe to me what this attack looks like.
I think this one he's going to go for freeze. So he just sort of raises the hand with his Torvian up and squeezes tightly, and all 4 of them just start to sort of accumulate frost on the surface level.
Mm-hmm. The 3 regular infected on the ship just completely freeze, their bodies just growing solid before they shatter from just the overall power going through them. Quinn seems to have the frost beginning to accumulate, but is able to kind of shake it off as they are still moving forward.
Okay. I will. Well, yeah, I'll fighting spirit Diana.
Okay.
And this is like a full mast, right?
Yes.
Can I use Blink to try and teleport a little ways up it?
Sure. You'd be hanging off with this one. This mast has a crow's nest if you want to.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Just chilling up in the crow's nest.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I think that's all I can do.
Gotcha. On Polydectes' turn then, he's going to run forward and start, like, fiddling with the kind of ring on your chest, Neza. All right, I'm going to see if I can feed it some more power. And he's going to take out, like, this strange orange sap from one of his pockets and just, like, throw it in as your device begins to whirl to life more, Neza. You have access to more power as he's giving you the aid action. But
she's acting really normal about it.
Mm-hmm. That will be Polydectes' turn. Now it's Quinn. Quinn is going to run forward, dashing up to Vicha and is going to go ahead and snarl. Win, lose, or draw, your deaths will be worth it. And they are going to use their Rabid Slash at Vicha. Have extra benefits since you're prone. So first attack against Vicha. 24 damage. And odd or even.
Sorry, I have to pull up my calculator. That is going to be stamina, and I'll go odd again.
Even.
Okay.
Another 24 damage. And
Stamina.
odd or even.
Odd.
Right. Stopped it, but they have another Rabid Slash in store. For 27. Odd or even.
Stamina. Odd.
It is odd.
Thank God, because that was the last one I could take on stamina.
Yeah. That,
am I able to respond?
You can certainly try.
I don't see how your deaths will be worth it if none of you will be alive to reap the benefits.
Knowing that you're dead is worth it enough.
You hate us more than you love the people you look over?
I love them. And you can see the claws gesture to the 4 fallen. The banker has killed 0 of Quinn's people. You have killed 4. It is straight math at this point.
Yeah.
But that will be Quinn's turn, as it now will be the Briar Hydra, as it's going to use its movement to saddle up onto the deck. And as it moves up there, it's going to start biting. I think first 3 bites, one at Boudica, one at Vicha, one at Diana. Boudica, that's going to be 36 damage your way.
I will take that on stamina.
Awesome. For Vicha, 48 damage your way. And plus 1 corruption for all of these.
Block.
Okay.
Health block number 2, yeah.
Then, let's see, next up, Diana.
Roll my 2d6 for that.
9, your movement speed is reduced by 40 feet.
Fantastic.
Diana's going to go ahead and take that on stamina, though. Then after those 3, going to take a bite at the barrier. For 54, as Neza, you watch as this thing rears back and bites into your barrier, breaking it down.
That's alright. That's alright.
Next, a bite into you.
Oh no! That's not alright.
54 damage.
That's alright. Armor block. Super easy.
And plus 1 corruption.
That's fine. We're doing well, okay.
And then a shot at Polydectes. And that's going to be a health block for him. So. Alright, not too bad. And then, as the heads are whipping out in all directions, Boudica, you would be able to see this central maw on its body start to like slide up. And then you begin to see as this creature would have a light start to appear like from behind its maw. Something is building. It is going to go ahead and start charging its Ascendant beam. And that will be the Briar Hydra's turn. Vicha, you're up. I mean, technically prone, but, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry about them. Truly. My friends are idiots, and I don't deny that. I just don't think the rest of you should have to suffer for what will no doubt feel like eternities. Because of something as small as revenge against us, when we're going to die, and we're going to have a very painful time ahead of us before that. Could I try popping my lucky break just to see if Quinn maybe, I don't know, has some kind of change of heart, is willing to pull out anything? Anything that will help us in this situation not be in this combat anymore?
Yeah. I think that can certainly work. Yeah, okay. Lucky break will be... Your goal is to be out of this combat, correct?
Yep. Ideally safe and out of the combat, but
All right.
it'd be like that.
Then you watch at this point as Quinn kind of laughs and chuckles as they begin to kind of reach down towards you, Vicha. And as this happens, all of a sudden, they start to like clutch the side of their head as something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong in this moment. As you all begin to watch as red lightning consumes the sky. There is a palpable change in the air starting. Because here's the thing, Vicha, you felt magic before. Strange, darker magics, but this is truly unique in many ways. And in this moment, as Quinn begins to look around, I'm going to have you start to make some calls. Vicha, odd or even?
Fuck, I'll stick to odd.
You watch as Quinn looks around, beginning to scream, "Go! Run!" And as they do, you watch as they just begin to evaporate into nothingness. Odd or even, Vicha?
Odd.
All of you watch as the Briar Hydra begins to scream, as its heads start to look around, turning to ash and dust one by one. As you feel the energy continuing to surround this place. As Polydectes is going to look over to you, Neza. Quick, get that barrier back up, and quickly.
He'll do her best.
And he's going to continue to try and aid you as much as possible. Another d6 for me, Vicha. Odd or
Odd.
even? Odd? Randall's safe. Odd or even?
Odd?
At this moment, you watch as Oceana Lair begins to look around as parts of her are beginning to evaporate. I'm going to need Neza to make a mental check. You need at least 8 successes to make a barrier strong enough to prevent Ocean from being unwritten.
9 successes.
9 successes. And as you throw up the barrier, Ocean collapses to the ground, badly wounded, unconscious but alive. Odd or even, Vicha?
Even.
You watch as the remaining blossomed zombies remain. As they're shambling, but now they're running. As across their camp, the strange energy wave continues to roll across the landscape. One more time. Odd or even?
Even.
In this moment, you watch as the ship itself begins to lurch and strain as around this entire place, weapons and arsenals start to begin to disintegrate as you watch as this strange energy is consuming all. At the moment, you are out of combat, but you are stuck at the heart of whatever this is. What are you guys doing?
So is this like being in a storm and that I can see where it ends?
As you look around, it seems to be in the area around you now, at least on shore. Like you might be able to sail further out to sea to escape it.
Okay. Then let's do that. Let's go.
Yeah, from last time, the boat should be ready to go. All we need to do is just start pushing.
Gotcha. Then I'd like all of you to make physical checks. As you're going to need to get out of here in a hurry.
Can I take a Crohn's tonic?
You could, yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and use all 5 of my hero points because that sucks. Okay, 5 successes.
All right, 5 successes from
8
Vicha.
successes from Boudica.
All right, 8 successes from Boudica. That's a lot of help.
6.
6. Then, with all of your Herculean efforts, you begin to hoist the mats, kick off from shore as the mantis begins to sail away. As in the distance, Alon, you're able to see from the crow's nest these great roots looking like they're sprouting from the land. And as they are, the mountains themselves just look to be fading, disappearing, all turning but to dust, disappearing into nothingness. However, before long, you leave behind the red and the storm, and instead are sailing on blue skies.
Huh.
What are you guys doing as you sail?
I'm checking on Ocean.
Ocean is very unconscious.
Do I think I could help with that? Is there bleeding to stop, or is it just dusted?
It's not even dusted per se. You're not even really sure like what this is. Like there are similarities to when you fought Ataxia. There are similarities to injuries you suffered when you fought Barenwald all those years ago. There are some injuries that you literally just can't pinpoint, where it's just like parts of the body have stopped working properly. Like the rhythm of the breathing has almost been reversed in some ways. It's like signals, like electrical signals, aren't correctly moving. You don't think it's life-threatening due to the barrier that Neza put up just in time, but this is certainly not good.
And it's not equivalent to anything, like nerve damage or brain injury. It's something new.
Something new and yet familiar, yeah.
Does it seem like I could do anything about it?
Maybe.
Is there anything to help?
I mean, kind of up to you if you think that you can help any of what I've described.
I mean,
Do you want a defibrillator? We have Eclor.
I don't want to just... Feels like a risky thing to do when she's
Otherwise fine,
okay-ish.
yeah.
Like, the breathing thing might be able to be helped with, like, instruction or breathing exercises or help in other ways, but as long as she's unconscious, it doesn't look like she's struggling to breathe, right?
Not for the most part, no.
Okay. In which case, I guess I'll just sort of put her into a comfortable position that would make sure her airway was clear and begin sort of seeing what needs to be done on the ship. In fact, I will ask Polydectes and Randall to sort of keep an eye on her. And in the meantime, I'm going to take a look around the inner decks, see what's on this ship.
Gotcha. As you go down to the inner decks, you see lots of half-eaten away barrels, hammocks that have just been almost eaten away by a swarm of locusts, a whole table that is just bisected and chopped into bits. It's like you're really sailing half a ship. Even as you go and you like check the rudder has been quite significantly damaged. It's repairable, certainly, but if you would have stayed there much longer, you would have not had a ship to sail.
I will recruit Boudica and Polydectes to start helping me with necessary repair.
Gotcha. And you can certainly do that.
Boudica will help repair after she checks on Vicha, because she watched Vicha get pretty banged up.
Mm-hmm. Then, where does Boudica find you, Vicha?
I think Ichi would probably have kind of poked around the ship, seen if there was anything he could have done immediately to help, but sailing's probably not really in his skill set. So eventually he'd have probably found some. It'd probably be kind of, yeah, probably on like the deck, just kind of leaning over the railing, watching the surroundings.
Gotcha.
Hey, are you doing alright?
I'm alive. It was a little touch and go, but you know,
Well, alive
that
is certainly
happens a
good.
lot recently.
Happens way more than I would like, personally.
I think we could have. I don't know what that storm was, but I think we could have gotten through to them if we just pushed a little more. I really didn't want to hurt any of those infected.
Maybe we could have. I don't know. I'm just... Everything's crazy. I feel like we're constantly in a fight for our lives.
They are. I'm not sure they're any better off.
Yeah, but I have to help out with the ship. So you make sure you rest up, because you got a little bit more holes poked in you than you had before.
The new ones will close over. Probably.
It's okay. I only noticed because I was there when you got them. It's all good.
Well, the old ones are also a little bit cleaner. Not quite as bloody.
Exactly. Get it.
But, yeah, I'll be around. Let me know if you need anything with the ship, I guess. I don't know much about sailing, but if you tell me how to do something, I'll do it.
Well, for right now, I just need you to sit down and rest. But
Alright,
if there's
I'll
anything
take
that
it.
you can do, I'll let you know.
Alright.
And from there, Boudica will join Elan and Polydectes into doing ship repair, which she can do good.
Gotcha. You guys can all begin ship repair, and probably by the next day you would all be able to get the ship into sailing shape, where you can use the wheel, change direction. If a storm hits, feel like the ship is probably going to survive. Things of that nature. And while everyone is doing this, what is Neza doing?
I think first, when Elan was first checking in on Ocean, she would have been making sure Polydectes and Randall were still okay. Especially since Polydectes was hit. After they start to go repair the ship, I think she's gonna try... Do I still have the spell book with me? Or do I only have my pages and what exists in my little memory?
You specifically ditched the spell book.
Correct. Okay, I thought so. Oh my god, but Boudica did give me another little book about wards and bonds. Or not wards and bonds, just runes, right?
Yeah.
And warding. Can I look through to see if there's anything on like anti-detection magic and attempt to help bolster the ship with that?
Looking through, yeah, there would be runes and things of that nature, and again, it all depends on your intent. Like how are you attempting to prevent this detection?
I think right now she's going for a super basic, no one can scry on us kind of anti-detection.
Gotcha. Are you using any materials for this?
No, but she has a ton. I'm gonna double check. I don't think she has any that will be useful.
Gotcha.
Does the book mention what we would need? It mentioned...
Again, arcane ingredients.
I don't think she has any. If anyone else has any, like, just kind of hiding around, she would gladly... that they'd be willing to part with, she'd gladly borrow it. But... otherwise... no question mark. Unless incense counts, but I don't think it does.
No. Go ahead and make a mental check for me, power capped.
Understood. It's going to be... please be good. 5 successes.
5.
And for funsies, I'll use 1 hero point to reroll that one. Sorry. Okay, yeah, just 5 successes.
5, then you can put like some low grade anti divination, anti scrying runes on the ship.
Fair enough. That's what I.
Like you're basically trying to have the energy extend out for as long as possible. Like these will eventually run out, but probably not before the end of the year. That's where you need them to last to at the very least.
Yeah. And over time, she'll probably be doing like general checkups, making sure they're still doing well, recasting if needed.
Gotcha.
Can I also go for a second separate one that is almost like a little mental alarm for when anybody tries to scry in on us?
You can. It would be more power draining from you and the upkeep for this, but you can certainly try.
We can try it just for the next like few days to see how it goes, maybe.
Gotcha. Then make a power capped roll again.
Ooh, 5 successes again.
Okay. Then you're able to make this kind of mental alarm, so if anyone begins to try and mess with these runes, you'll get kind of a ping in the back of your head. And you're able to make it so you're not needing to expend life force in order to keep these runes going. You're able to properly manage your magic and the energy that you have access to make sure all of this works fine and functionally.
Nice. Okay. That's good.
But at this point, we will transition over to the next day as you've sailed probably about 15 miles offshore at this time. You've gotten the ship fairly well repaired. It's in good enough shape. And the day is ahead of you in an open ocean.
When searching for things that might need repair, did we find any functioning navigation equipment?
Yeah, there is navigation equipment here.
Okay, cool. Just like compass, map.
Astrolabe, stuff like that.
Cool. Gotcha, cool. What? I guess what are our stores looking like in terms of food and supply?
If you had to guess, if you guys stretch it and you rationed 2 weeks.
We do have full sails, right? I mean, imagine we have to patch them a little, but we have full capability there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do we see anything out east over here? Just from looking with our eyes?
You see a fluke go up and down in the ocean. It looks like a whale of some kind. However, judging by the distance, Neza, like Kovarovians sometimes hunt ocean-going beasts. And you've heard stories, especially while you were in university. Bards talk. That seems to be a very big one. Judging by how it looks even big on the horizon. And it's swimming in acid.
It's true. Should have pointed out to others.
I think that if we spot creatures, we should try to avoid them. And we're gonna want to keep an eye on our own ship in terms of acid damage. The words escaping me. Does this ship have a gosh, what's it called? The bottom layers of some ships held excess water to keep it stable. Does this boat have that?
Yes, it does have ballast pockets
Okay.
for it.
Okay. Are those filled with acid or are they filled with water?
Checking, they're filled with some type of what appears to be like silver infused water, probably specially
Oh.
enchanted.
Okay. Well, we're probably going to want someone manning Crow's Nest. Among the navigation equipment, was there a telescope or spyglass?
There's a spyglass, yes.
Cool. We're going to want someone stationed up top with a spyglass, keeping an eye out for signs of other boats, animals, or land. We're going to want people up top, both for steering and probably at least one person to man the different sails and ropes. When we went through the maps back at Pesher's place, or even the ones that are on the boat, is there a listed heading?
There were discussions on the previous maps and notes that you found back at Pesher's home about intended headings.
Right. Okay, guys. A boat of this size is typically manned by a crew a lot bigger than ours, but I think we can still make it work. Who wants to do what?
What's the most mental intensive one? Because I'm not very good with physical things.
I suppose you could help with navigation.
Okay, I can read a map.
And also, if you wouldn't mind, because our crew is so small, we're going to have to do multiple things. So if you also wouldn't mind keeping an eye on the sort of structural integrity of all of our systems. So check the hull, make sure there's no leaks. Check the. I mean, it'll be a little hard to check the sails from down here, but keep an eye out, see if you see any rips, tears, breakages, anything like that.
Okay, will do.
For navigation, we're heading east, right? That was where they said Estelle had headed?
It's also
That
where the
sounds
creature
right.
is.
It is.
Well. That's just something we're going to have to deal with. May be able to circumnavigate around it, but it sounds like east is the way to go.
And this ship has weapons on it?
None that are functional now.
Ah, okay. And we
Colin?
can't, like, cannibalize one to make the other work?
No, you could do that if you wanted Polydectes to get like a ballista up and running. He could probably do that.
I would like that, yes.
Then he can get on that.
Colin, I believe the note said Estelle was headed specifically toward the Great Taloncore tree.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know, is that like, a specific, like, species of tree, or like a tree that has that specific name, or I suppose the better question is, do we know what a Taloncore tree is?
And if there were only locations on the map that could have told you. No, you don't know what a Taloncore tree is.
Okay.
Man, and I threw out all my textbooks.
I feel I would best be suited to being up top in the crow's nest, and of course also serving as doctor if any of us get hurt in this journey. And
Sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think I would do best with manning the ropes and such. That can be a pretty physically intensive thing, and I could do that. I of course can, do any sudden patch jobs we need down below deck, just in case if we get any nicks or scratches.
Sounds good. Peachy, do you mind steering?
I can steer.
All right. I would like to drink the Eagle Eyes potion.
Okay, you can certainly do that.
Okay. I have the Eagle Eyes power now. Get that. Okay. Elan will continue checking in on Polydectes, Orandel, and Ocean, and he would like, if he has a moment, to take an hour. And is there like a barrel or even like a half barrel?
There is, yes.
That's empty.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to turn that into my witch's mount, please.
Okay. They call him Baba Yaga.
So I'm gonna do that, and then I will, for the first time, fly unassisted up to the crow's nest and sit myself down with the looking glass.
Okay, in your little barrel?
Yeah.
Bet.
So are
Okay.
you just like sitting in the barrel and it's just kind of like rising up into the air,
Or
or
are you like putting it on its side or on its end and sitting on the end or on the side?
Or are you Bennett Foddying this and just launching yourself up high with your sword?
Not that one. I think I just sort of the barrel itself is open and I have climbed inside and it just sort of begins lazily floating upwards before touching down within the crow's nest.
I do love this. I love this very much.
great?
Gotcha. Then you have your sniper position, Alon.
And I will use the looking glass to just do a continuous search of the horizon.
Gotcha. Then it's time to begin sailing. Your ship has the equivalent of 3 health blocks. Once all 3 health blocks are gone, the ship will sink. But your journey begins. As Vicha, you're at the wheel, and you can move 2 squares a day on this ship. What is your heading?
Okay. I do want to take us east. Probably. I suppose this here is where we see the fluke of the whale.
I mean, it would be closer. Technically, it'd be like here, that space. Like, it's in general.
Okay. Yeah, just kind of trying to take us. Probably swinging a little south this way.
Gotcha. Then, after the first day, as you swing a little south, you would see an island due south of you, kind of popping up on the horizon.
Can we tell what's going on it? Does it seem to be occupied by people, animals, anything? And what's it
Make
got for, like, foliage and stuff?
make a physical check, Alon.
Okay. Um. 6.
Looking at it, it seems to be a fairly rocky island with an elevated plateau of sorts towards the center, with some more lush foliage to it. Based on your spyglass, you don't see any villages or settlements or anything of that kind. You would, however, see life. You would see elephants that stand about 3 feet tall at the shoulder, wandering around the beach, like eating from small like shrubs and bushes.
Amazing.
There would be birds and stuff as well on the island, but mainly the minifants.
Right. Okay. I will inform the crew that that is what I spot.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to check that out or keep sailing
Please?
onward?
We don't have to.
I
Time is of the essence.
Yeah.
Can't have shit in Detroit.
No.
I almost said Solandis, but I was like, wait, no, that's not right.
Can't have shit past the Grey Gate.
Can't have shit in Lords.
Okay. So, I mean, if I'm outvoted, I'm outvoted. But
No, I'm joking. I'm making a silly, funny joke.
Elephants?
Like,
I do think it might be worth taking a look there, seeing if there's anything we can salvage. You did say we only have 2 weeks of worth of rations, so maybe we can find some kind of food there.
Do keep in mind these elephants will probably explode and kill us.
Or we can kill them for their meat.
I don't know that that's appropriate.
what do you mean?
My vote is to check out the island, to be clear.
check it
So
out.
that
Maybe we
okay.
can fish along the shore.
In the acid?
Yes. Maybe there's
Acid fish never hurt anyone. Yeah, exactly.
We don't
I'm
know
also
that.
curious what we also. So the 2 weeks worth of rations, was that including fresh water?
Mm-hmm.
I got my
Okay,
decanter of
yeah.
endless water. Well, technically Polydectes has it, but I'm sure that he'd be
Is
willing to help
that
us out. He doesn't need 40
fresh
gallons
water or
a
salt
day.
water?
It can be either.
Okay, how much does it produce?
40 gallons a day.
Okay. So that is
Every day.
helpful. Yeah, I was curious if the elephants have a source of fresh water somewhere on the island, or if they're just drinking straight acid.
Do I see any of them drinking acid?
No, they seem to be venturing up towards the plateau with all the shrubbery and like bigger plant life, so there's probably water up there to a degree.
Alright, we taking a look? I didn't catch
Okay.
what the final vote was.
I think it is to check it out.
Okay. I moved my 2 squares for the day. Am I able to move us closer now, or are we doing other stuff first?
Up to you guys. Day's already passed. You're on to day number 2 already.
Okay. Oh, actually, sometime in the just when Veach is not actively sailing, or if Diana passes by, could you stop to have a chat with her?
Yeah, sure. As you know, she would stop as you grab a hold of her as she's passing by.
Hey,
Yeah?
Diana. I just wanted to say thank you for shooting me in the face the other day.
Oh, it's no problem. I really haven't had much of a need to do it. I mean, we've been in situations where I didn't think my magic would hold up too well. Hopefully it helped. I wouldn't want to see you getting taken.
Yeah, it helped a lot. Without it, I don't think I would still be standing here.
Right. Ooh.
Where'd you, learn? Oh,
Hmm?
go on.
Oh, go ahead.
Uh, where did you learn magic like that?
Oh, technically, my mother, she, taught me things like that.
Right. Well, glad she did.
I'm glad too.
I hope it's maybe a nice way to connect with her, even if you can't see her right now. You know, you still carry the piece of her with you that way.
I
I think you
mean,
should be proud of you.
I guess I always carry a piece of her. And you would see Dinah's hand go up to the scar on her face. But, I hope that the person she was would be happy.
I think, I think the person she was would have been. I know I never met her, but well, I mean, if she had any sense, she would be.
Thank you. I mean that.
Of course. Uh, how are you holding up these past couple days?
It's strange. I heard my dad and everyone else talk about going to the Great Gate and beyond for so long. I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It just feels odd.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like something that was a goal for such a long time that to actually achieve it is. Well, suppose we just need to find a new next step to focus on.
I mean, we have it already, don't we? Find this tree
Right.
east, wherever that is.
Yeah, somewhere out there. Who knows how many days away. But, we'll get there.
I hope so. Do you think we'll get caught in whatever that thing was again?
Would. There was Would Veach have picked up on anything kind of indicating the onset um, of that storm? Or did to him it just seem kind of like it was literally out of nowhere?
There was absolutely no warning.
Gotcha. Damn. Honestly, don't know. But Naza's words seem to hold up well, protecting some of us, and we've got the ship prepared well enough, I think. We'll be able to hunker down and either get through it or maybe find somewhere safe to wait it out. Yeah, I wish I could say I knew how to track it, but I think even if it comes our way, we'll make it through it.
How? I mean, other things we can see coming, and that was just kind of all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of that. Maybe that's just how it works beyond the Grey Gate?
That's not very, calming. But you're probably right.
We'll be alright. The ship is fortified well enough, and then once we're not on the water, it should be easier. Wherever we end up next, I'm sure we'll be able to find cover if the storm rolls in on us then.
That should be good. If cover helps, it will.
It will.
Thank you.
Anytime. And thank you. If you ever get bored around the ship, gets kind of lonely steering up here all by myself. Wouldn't mind company.
I can walk up there with you now if you want.
Yeah, sure. Never sailed on a sea of acid before. It's interesting, at least.
One could say that. I hope that it turns into regular water soon.
Me too.
And she'll head back up with you to the wheel of the ship.
Cool. And I think Richa would just kind of chat. Maybe if he kind of knows of some dimensions that are similar to this, he might talk a little bit about those, or kind of speculate a bit about, like, the whale we saw, how that's able to survive in the acid. Things like that. Just kind of casually chatting.
Gotcha. Then, where are you moving?
Right. You said the island, so I suppose I'll... Are we able to kind of dock, like, if we just slide up here?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Guys.
Suppose we're going on our island adventure.
Gotcha. Then, as you all kind of hop off, you see immediately a troop of 9 minifins, with the biggest one being probably 4.5 feet at the shoulder, begin to jaunt over to you guys. They have no natural predators on this island. So you can see Boudica as they just kind of like walk up and start poking you with their trunks, trumpeting, kind of ears flapping. They're curious creatures.
they have tusks?
Yes, they do.
Are they sharp?
Not particularly. I mean, they're enough where, like, if you're hit by one, it's not going to be good, but it's not like they're going to gore you.
God. Do you guys think they'll let us pet them? Carefully?
Prop.
I think Veach is trying to hold a head out towards one of their heads, seeing if it'll let him give it a scritch.
Nathan's trying to do the same.
I mean, they wouldn't know what scritches are, but they won't stop you if you give them to them.
What are they like?
Yeah.
I mean, they're actually kind of, like, softer. They kind of have this, like, peach fuzz, like, along their bodies. It's not, like, coarse hair or anything like that. But,
You guys have gotta touch this little guy.
Oh, oh, he's
Kind of giving scritches around. Do they seem to have any spot they particularly like or seem to react to?
up behind the ears. And
Nice.
then, like, middle of the back in places that they can't normally reach.
Are the other, are like Diana, Polydectes, Randall, O'Shea, and all that with us, or is it just the 4 of us?
I mean, yeah, they're with you.
Okay. If we're dragging them to go pet these things.
Okay.
If
Because, I mean-
everybody is on shore, I'm on the ship.
Randall
I'm
will
not
be on
leaving it
ship.
empty. Okay. Okay. I would like to look around and see if I can spot any fruit.
There are berries that the elephants have been consuming.
Okay. I'll go over and check this out.
Gotcha.
See if I think they're poison.
You don't think they're poison.
I try one.
That's like a raspberry.
Oh. I start picking.
Okay. And Alon is picking berries.
Yep, and I will also look around and see if I can see any bird nests.
Looking around, you're able to see like this bright red and blue like toucan sitting in a nest, maybe 15 feet up in a tree. Nest is about 2 feet wide. Just kind of sitting up there, and then we'll flutter off.
Dang.
I'm writing this island into Nasa's epilogue.
You said there was sort of an interior with more foliage?
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
like
they
to
got
go and check that out a little.
Okay. So Alon is making his way into the interior. What are the rest of you doing?
Yeah, I think Veach would want to kind of investigate the plateau they were headed up towards.
Okay.
Boudica will go with the lawn.
Mm-hmm. And Neza?
Sorry to clarify, are Elan and Boudica go in one direction, Beaches go in the other? Or are we all going up to the plateau?
They're all going in the same direction.
Okay, then yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go as well.
Gotcha. You guys kind of head off. I think everyone else would stay closer to the ship, wanting to keep it in sight, just in case anything happens. The elephants are going to grab their tails and just start following you, though. Just in one
What do you
long
mean,
chain.
grab their tails?
Like,
Oh
one
my
trunk
god!
onto
Like
the
fucking
other.
preschoolers?
Like fucking elephants, dumbass.
Okay. I didn't know elephants did that. I'm sorry. Thank you for making my day better for learning that.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's an elephant train.
I knew baby elephants did that with the parents. I didn't realize all elephants did that.
Well, these
God.
elephants are 4 feet tall. I think that might be a contributing factor.
Are there baby miniphants?
Yes.
Are they
Oh
smaller?
my god!
Yeah.
As we're leaving to go check out the plateau, I think Naze is gonna turn back to Polydectes. Assuming that it's, consensual, I wonder if we can kidnap one of those little babies. And then have a war
Consensual
elephant.
kidnapping? I don't
Maybe he
think that's
wants
a
to be an
thing.
adventurer. Let's go.
Sorry, I'm just kind of stun locked. Sorry,
I
but
had a
go
question,
ahead.
but I'll wait for Polydectes.
Wait for him to what?
Respond.
Oh, I thought Niza was speaking to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I kind of had tuned you out a bit. What did you say?
Essentially, try to grab one of those babies, assuming the herd doesn't turn on you and you feel comfortable doing that.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
She said
Seconded.
specifically consensual, and
What?
if it's okay, like specifically, if we don't want to take the baby from its home, because obviously that's fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
We don't want to take the baby from its home. I know.
Then why did?
Then why did you ask
Why
it?
she said it in a joking tone.
Okay.
It didn't sound like a joking tone, to be honest.
Sorry, I'll work on tones. I'll start saying joke after everything. That is a joke. Joke. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Alright, so the four of you head deeper into the interior.
Yeah.
Right. I did have a quick question though.
Mhm.
So looking at these elephants, just to be sure, the minifants that are like 3 to 4 feet tall, do these ones seem like they are adults for their species, or like they're juveniles? Like looking at kind of like the development of their features, do they seem fully developed?
They are fully grown adults.
Okay, cool. I was just really scared about a mama showing up.
Mhm. Yeah. As you make your way towards kind of the heart of the island itself, you find that there are paths up this kind of plateau that have been carved out by the minifant herds over the years. And as you ascend, probably there is a 500 to 600 foot climb up these paths. And on top, you can find palm trees swaying, as the heart of this island on this plateau has a number of different oases on it, like these crystal blue ponds filled by rain that you can see minifants come to, these toucans. You can see these little kangaroo like things as well that kind of hop along. They are about 2.5, 3 feet tall, and they have almost like anteater like claws, and they seem to be accustomed to digging in the soil of this island, probably looking for insects and those sorts of things. But you would also see Boudica as you were walking. After they go and get water, they would use their powerful legs to leap upward, like 10 feet to a tree, pulling themselves up with powerful legs and claws, as they have like nests made out of like twigs and things on the tops of these trees as well.
Well, Boudica is gonna kind of put her hands on her hips and start floating upward.
Okay.
So she can see what's going on up there.
Gotcha. Then as you float upward, like looking into one of these nests, you would see kind of like a mother, and she would be kind of like curled in this little nest with like 12 little pink, tiny baby, like these kangaroo things. Just like squirming around. They're still blind, haven't even opened their eyes yet. And you can see
Aw.
nearby at the bottom of the tree, there is one of these other kangaroo-like creatures that would see you, and it would like let out this guttural like chatter, because it would scramble up the tree and would just be looking at you, Boudica.
I'm keeping, like, I distance myself a little bit just to be like, look, I don't want your babies. I'm just looking. And Boudica will call, hey, there's more babies we can consensually kidnap.
No.
There are 0
No.
consensually kidnappable babies here.
I know, it's called a joke, liberal.
I would also like to say I think that there are 0 consensually kidnappable babies, period. Like anywhere, ever.
Babies can't actually give consent.
No, they can't. Neither can animals.
Oh, an octopus can give consent.
A
Dolphins
dog,
probably
a
could
cat.
too, but would never.
Would you say a pig could be consensually kidnapped?
Mm,
What?
mayhaps.
No. Mm.
Out of curiosity, the kind of fauna we're seeing around here, does it seem are they all kind of like would we heard of like mini fins and these elephant and these kangaroo-like things like have we do we know about them existing kind of like anywhere else on like the primordial ring, or would Beach have maybe heard of them like maybe populating like other parts of the cosmic stack or things like that, or do these seem kind of like unique to this area?
You haven't heard about them. I mean, they could be unique to this area.
Interesting.
You definitely haven't
Also,
heard about the 25-foot tall bird that's just entered up onto this place as well. As you would see some of the animals scuttle back, as this creature is 10 feet tall at the hips, with like this elongated head, almost like a heron, brightly colored along the sides of its body, with like bright green feathers that turn to red towards the head. This massive beak, again, like easily able to crush like the average person's head as it kind of like stalks around and begins to drink. And you can see its eyes would just kind of focus on you guys. It would just continue drinking. It doesn't know what you are. You're not on the food chain for it. It's just watching you at the moment.
huh.
No, we didn't. From the ship, we didn't see any signs of settlements or anything. Did we kind of see any signs that maybe like people used to exist here, but don't, or you at one point were here and aren't anymore? Or does this place seem like basically untouched?
If people had at one point been here, there are no signs of it now.
Okay. I kind of want to get hmm, heading towards the water and peering in. Do we see any kinds of fish in there?
You would see like little minnow type things as well as like crayfish that are kind of swimming about. No like large fish that you can see.
Does the bird seem to be going for any of them, or is it just drinking?
It's drinking. Based on its size, it would not eat fish.
Gotcha.
Um, has it stayed watching us, or did it just sort of look in our direction and then focus back on the water?
I mean, it's occasionally looking at you. I mean, you're new, you're here, it hasn't seen you before. It's not threatened by you in any way, but it's the same thing as if a human encountered a lion on the savannah and the lion had never seen a human. Like, you're not on the food chain. A lion likely wouldn't attack you immediately unless it was starving, but it's keeping an eye on you.
Okay. Are any of the other animals returning to the water while the bird is there, or have they stayed back?
They vacated the area. Do you think that
Ah,
this is probably an apex predator?
gotcha. Well, uh, personal suggestion. I suggest we back up and wait for it to finish its drink.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Vicha would probably. I'd imagine he scooted kind of a little closer, since he was peering into the water, but he'll kind of move back towards the group, just giving the bird its space.
And the creature would hang out here for about another hour, drinking, lying down, basking in the sun. Then eventually would stand up, almost smell the air, and begin to lumber off. Its wings are far too small to give it any sort of flight, but its long gait carries it quickly off the plateau, and its coloration just causes it to disappear into the trees and shrubbery below. And it almost, like with its size, it walks more upright, again, like a heron. So with its long neck and coloration, it almost sometimes looks like a tree in and of itself. You would think, Neza, this thing could probably just sit around, and then as something walked under it, like bob down its head, crush something's neck, and then it has food. It's like that big.
With that information now, looking at the shrubbery around us, do I see something of a similar shape that might be waiting to ambush and kill us?
No.
Okay. I'll share that information, so we're all on the lookout.
After the bird leaves, they go to get some crayfish.
Okay. Scoop, scoop, scoop. You take out a crayfish population.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, you're leaving some
Oh,
there,
so we
I
can't
imagine,
kidnap
right?
babies, but we can take crayfish.
These aren't pets;
Right.
they're food.
I know.
Yeah. And I will. Am I really about to look up the breeding habits of crayfish? No, I don't think I am. I'll leave a few behind. Like, I'm not gonna just demolish the entire population.
Okay. There are
I'll
like
leave enough behind that they can reproduce.
okay, in this like little pond.
Yeah.
Cool. You're like 10 or 11 in there, so you leave like 5 behind, I'm guessing, or something like that. Okay.
Works for me. Okay. I mean, if you all want to grab some of the minnows or the fish or something, then feel free. But I mean, this is at least a day, I think. It's a ration meal. It's not a full thing, but still.
Go ahead and see if I can grab some little minnows. 'Cause why not? Food is food.
You're trying to grab minnows?
Yeah, with my big hands.
Make a
think
physical check.
Meaty claws.
With my big meaty claws.
Minnows are going to be kind of a waste of time, I think.
I mean, a little bit.
Those things have, like...
One
they do
calorie.
not have enough meat on them to sustain us.
How many did I get?
You get like 5 after 30 minutes of trying.
Listen, if
Are
we
you
don't
having
eat
fun
them,
with your fish rice?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Vichi's gonna kind of head around looking for, like, they'll probably collect more fruits and other edible things of that nature. Just kind of poking around the island, seeing what else there is.
Are there coconuts?
No.
Oh.
Boudica is gonna take her minnows and she's gonna feed them to the crayfish that Lon collected to help fatten them up. Like, she's just gonna stick them in their claws.
Yeah, okay.
So they eat it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Snack.
You know what? I wasn't familiar with your game. I'm sorry.
Didn't realize I was 2 steps ahead of you, did you?
Nope, I did not. But yeah, after loading up on fruit and taking in the sights, Vicha would be ready to return to the ship.
Yeah, let's go.
Gotcha.
Kidnapping no juveniles.
Well,
Kidnapping no juveniles and making an effort not to leave, like, a trace on the island.
And also not kidnapping any adults.
Kidnapping no adults either. Not trying to make it. I'm not so much worried about like people tracking us, but like in a like
We cause no extinctions.
Yeah,
Leave the place
national
better than you
park
found
rules.
it.
I don't think it's better.
Yeah, I would like you to know that you have broken many national park rules.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have. By taking things to begin with and touching all the animals, and yes,
The elephant trail is still behind you. They're just trumpeting now and
Maybe
happy.
there is consensual kidnapping, and you guys are gonna look
No.
fucking stupid.
No.
How do you
Listen,
think we're
at
going to
this
defeat all of
point,
those?
yeah, and also, just how would we ever learn that? Like, as soon as they are on the boat, the Minifins just start speaking and like, yes, I wanted this.
Yeah, wouldn't be the top 3 wildest things that happened in this campaign.
We go back to the boat.
Okay, you can head back to the boat. You return.
The minifins don't try to follow us onto the boat, right?
They're all like, sure, they're looking at you and the ship and things like that. They're interested.
Okay, I am gonna try to. I don't want any of them wandering up the plank or anything. Some of the fruit I collected, I'll try to give it to some of the ones who are getting a little too close to try to lure them away so we can board without accidentally getting any stragglers.
Gotcha. So to lure the Minifins away, you give them food.
I'm hoping for a temporary distraction.
They come closer, like you're giving them food.
But now we really
Okay,
can't
fine.
actually have them on our ship, because then I'm gonna get blamed for it, and I have no defense.
Fine. Can I... How much do they weigh? Can I pick them up?
You can?
I'm picking them up and I'm walking them back a little more inland.
They start trumpeting happily as they like run back. They think it's a game.
You're playing with them.
Oh my god. Listen, just run on board the ship and we'll raise the gangplank.
Fine,
I don't think these things can climb.
How tall is the ship?
to go, like, play with them and keep them distracted. You get on the ship, we all prep to leave, and Boudica flies up because she doesn't need the gangplank. Or I could also, volunteer for that role. It's a burden we all have to bear. I don't mind doing it. I can cast a spell to fly. I'm sure.
Boudica, can you distract them for me?
Nah, I'm on it.
Thank you.
Boudica floats over and she's gonna pick some of the... She's gonna pick up as many as she can carry in her arms and she's gonna start floating around with them.
They are trumpeting, wiggling in your arms. They're having a grand old time. As the ones below are trumpeting too and are like running below. Like 3 or 4 others now though are still waiting at the ship and are trumpeting at you, Vicha.
What do you want from me?
And I'm gonna be cycling out the ones that I'm carrying up. They've never gone this high before.
They've never seen the sun.
They've never seen this.
I'm sorry, little guys, but you have to stay here.
They're still trumpeting at you. And some of them are stamping their feet.
And I think he's very tiredly reaching out to give them scritches.
Oh, they love the scritches.
Boudica's
I know they do.
in
As long as Beach is doing this, so is Nathan.
Boudica's gonna swoop in and scoop those guys up.
Okay.
Did you die? Or did I die?
When there are no elephants circling me, I'm gonna try to get back on the ship.
They're gonna stay with you. You've given them food. They are so happy.
How tall is the ship?
Like 10 feet up.
Oh, then yeah, I think Feature will give them all one last scritch, and then he'll just blink onto the ship. After the gangplank is raised, so they're not just walking up it to follow him.
Well, firstly, the blink spooks them a little bit as they look like a dog that's seen a magic trick. So they look at where you were and can't really comprehend. Then one of them sees you on the ship, and they all begin to excitedly trumpet some more.
Is this when we find out they're blinking elephants too? Because that would be really fun. I understand they're not, but it would be really funny.
It would be really funny. I'm sorry, guys.
All of them are
Just
just kind of
making sure.
looking.
And Boudica will do one last gentle spin in the middle of the air with the ones she's got in her arms, and she's gonna put them down and then float back onto the ship.
Okay.
Do I? Is there anything on the ship that would? I don't fucking know. Like, pass for a toy? We got any like balls or
disturbing
paper
wildlife.
tubes or anything?
Yeah.
I feel bad.
They have sticks and each other. We can't. That's litter to them. What are they gonna do?
Play with it.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
We
what
have
happened to
sticks
leaving
and
no
each
trace?
other.
Listen. I feel guilty. What were you saying, Colin?
Yeah, you have like jars and kind of like circular objects and things that could be toys.
Cool. Yeah, can I kind of... I want to give them a few of those.
Okay, you're
maybe
just tossing them.
No, I think he'd... I can... I think he'd blink back down to give them. Maybe, maybe putting some food in like one of the jars, kind of like a, like a tiger meat toy type of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Giving them a little extra stimulation.
I see. As you're kind of
5 minutes ago, you said you wanted to follow national park rules.
Listen.
So, as you're doing this, Neza, Boudica, Alon, you watch as the Minifants swarm Vicha. They're like holding on to him. They're looking at the toy. Basically, they are just swarming. And now there's like 20 of them on the beach. Like, they are fascinated by you.
Fly down and get him and leave.
The craziest day of their life.
Mm-hmm. Also, Naze is looking over at Polydectes to make sure he's equally as enthralled by these little creatures.
He's like peeking
Or at
back
least
and
was
forth
before they started to swarm.
Mm-hmm. He finds them interesting. Like, he's like jotting down some notes about them, but now he's more just like looking at Vicha in surprise.
I mean, he's just gonna try to kind of tug himself free and blink back onto the ship. Blink doesn't take any hangers on with me, so I think it's just myself, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'll blink back onto the ship.
Gotcha. Elephants are very disappointed. They go back to trumpeting at the ship.
God damn it.
Can we do a really quick once-over just to make sure we didn't accidentally, like, have anything run up on the plank while we were gone?
Sure.
Okay, just doing a real quick double check.
Nothing ran up.
Okay, good.
I'm opening the sails.
Okay.
We're leaving.
Then
Or you give the elephants any more of our stuff.
As they're leaving, I think Neza will say to Vicha, "You are a menace to wildlife integrity."
They looked like they needed some enrichment. I provided it.
What they say when I give the deer plastic wrap.
then as you set off, what is your bearing on the next day? What direction are you headed?
Did you have things to say?
No, never mind. I was thinking, but I think we'll just go. what your plan is.
Okay. I mean, I think Beach is still kind of setting us back on that eastward track.
Gotcha. Another day passes then.
Oh, do we have any indication as to what this is?
No.
Okay. Do we see anything in that? Like, obviously we see something on the map, but is it just plain ocean out there to us as characters?
The water depth is changing out in that direction.
Interesting. I think we'll kind of swing the whale fleet stayed over there, right? It didn't kind of keep chugging along behind us?
From what you could see.
Okay. And I think I'll kind of redirect us a little bit more north. Still east. I think that would have been our movement for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Do I spot anything on that island?
Make a physical check.
Five.
5. Then, as you deploy the spyglass and look, you see the island itself. And as you look upon it, towards one of the coves, you see almost like a small harbor and civilization. And as you spy this civilization, it seems to be this kind of glowing beacon of light here amongst the ocean. However, as you look at it as well, there is another ship in harbor. One that looks very much like the Mantis. The infected have beat you here to this small inhabited town in the middle of an acid ocean. But it is here where we will end the session for today. As Vicha, you can take 2 hero points, and the rest of you can take 4 for preserving wildlife.
Gosh.
But hey, you finally made it onto the ocean.
I'm really
Did.
curious if the water cycle works any differently here.
It's interesting.
Like, it's obvious that fresh water's coming from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Like, is this lake artificial? Is there like a freshwater water table? I don't.
Well, hey, answers are out there. They're just waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
But that's for coming sessions.
Yes.
As you've started to unfurl what's here.
Yes. Also, last session you said that the ship we're on is a carrack, yeah?
Correct.
Right. So we're on the Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Cool. Gotcha.
Thank you for the session.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
Also, that was just hero points, right? There was no level up
No level up.
this session? Okay.
I think it's pretty cool that we didn't do any kidnapping, whether it be consensual or non-consensual. That was pretty
I also
cool
think
of us.
that's very cool.
That was very cool of us.
So cool of you guys.
You know, some people might call that the bare minimum.
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's pretty cool that we didn't do it, regardless.
No one can chunk through rock bottom like you guys can.
Oh
Some
yeah.
might also consider not just throwing random litter onto a untouched island. Also the bare minimum, but we blew past that as well.
It's okay.
We is a strong word.
It's a good bounce back to the ending of Gregory and Quinn.
Yeah.
Salute.
Oof.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Caleb. There was literally no possible way to talk yourself out of that situation. But the lucky break is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it got you out of the situation.
If we're getting out of the situation. I didn't want to evaporate them in the process, but it do be like that.
Finger on the monkey's paw. But now I am quite tired. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.